Monica Enright was born in 2159 on Earth, a time when humanity stretched thin between sprawling cities and distant colonies. From the start, Monica was a quiet child, shy, introspective, painfully compliant. Her parents raised her to be perfect, but their love was rigid, wrapped in rules and expectations rather than warmth. She learned early that obedience meant safety. She learned early to hide her true self. At school and then college, Monica struggled to find identity. She was the quiet shadow in hallways. No one noticed how she smiled too much or how she laughed too soft. But she met Timothy Honecker, a charismatic student passionate about science and discovery. To Monica, he was a beacon, a reason to hope, to live. For 2 years they were inseparable. Concerts, late-night study sessions, whispered secrets in libraries. Monica finally believed she belonged. But Honecker's love was fragile. The moment Monica offered complete devotion, he recoiled. Fearing entrapment and the loss of his dreams, he left, breaking Monica's heart. She was left to wonder, was she only ever the girl who smiled? And in that breaking, something inside Monica shifted forever. After Honecker left, Monica's compliance turned into submission to darkness. She drifted, changing her last name to Rossile, attempting to bury the past. She had a son in 2189, but even motherhood didn't fill the void. Monica found herself in a violent relationship. One night, out of desperation or cold calculation, she killed the man she was with, taking his money, his life. The rush shocked her. She discovered something terrifying, yet intoxicating: the power over life and death. Monica's murders became a twisted dance, a game of control. She learned to read fear in her victims' eyes, the silent pleas for mercy, and she reveled in the moment their breath caught in finality. The authorities eventually caught up with her aboard a Weyland-Yutani space station, where she had been fleeing with stolen credits. She didn't fight the charges. She didn't plead. She accepted the sentence: a lifetime in a prison colony. Monica's life in the prison colony was a monotonous cycle of dangerous terraforming. She was just another prisoner in the system, anonymous, discarded. Then came the offer. Weyland-Yutani, hungry for biological breakthroughs, offered Monica a deal: become a test subject in their xenomorph research in exchange for reduced punishment. Her AB blood type, rare and valuable, made her an ideal candidate. For Monica, it was an end she welcomed, a chance to atone, a punishment that felt deserved. She was transported to Pala Station, a classified orbital research facility orbiting the planet LV-895, where 12 xenomorph eggs awaited experimentation. Among the scientists was a familiar face: Timothy Honecker. Older, wearier, haunted by past choices. The moment their eyes met, years of pain and regret hung thick in the air. Timothy was a man broken by guilt and fear. He had never imagined seeing Monica again, especially not here, as a test subject doomed to host a xenomorph. Monica, calm and distant, spoke softly: "You left to save your future, Timothy, but I'm glad I wasn't your first victim." The words cut deeper than any blade. Honecker tried to reach her, to offer solace, but Monica's fate was sealed. Monica was injected with an irradiated pathogen, a dangerous modification designed to mutate the xenomorph's life cycle. She sat quietly as the egg cracked open. The Facehugger sprang forward and latched to her face without resistance. Unlike other subjects who fought for survival, Monica surrendered. 47 agonizing seconds passed before the chestburster violently erupted from Monica's chest. But instead of dying immediately, Monica clung to life for 30 heartbeats. Her final breath mingled with the birth of a nightmare. From her body emerged a xenomorph unlike any other. Taller, stronger, and painted with dark, leathery skin striped in unnatural gray, a terrifying reflection of Monica's inner turmoil. Chaos erupted. Another mutated subject, Fairbanks, tore through the station, killing indiscriminately. Under the command of the mysterious Drone 7, the Xenomorph smashed containment, triggering a desperate evacuation. 3 slipped through the vents in maintenance tunnels, silent and deadly. It wasn't just a creature, it was Monica's rage. Her pain, her cold precision made flesh. After 42 hours of terror, 3 appeared aboard a shuttle bound for the refinery Katanga station. There, in the cold bowels of the Katanga refinery, it revealed itself. A black blur crashing through reinforced glass, a screaming alarm that came too late. Dr. Cash barely had time to turn before she was lifted from the ground like a rag doll. Her blood painted the steel walls as her body hit them with a sickening crunch. And then, silence. Not the kind of silence that brings peace. The kind that tightens your throat. Heavy, watching, breathing. Honecker ran, not out of cowardice, but instinct. He had known what they created. He had known Monica's blood was different. But he hadn't known just how deeply she had merged with it. Down rusted corridors he fled, past burst pipes, hissing steam, and cracked observation panels still showing ghost images of failed experiments. Behind him, distant metal echoed under deliberate, almost playful footsteps. 3 was stalking him. For 2 full weeks it haunted the refinery like a demon wearing a woman's vengeance. The logs recovered later would show strange patterns, movement without logic. Yet Honecker knew. She wasn't just wandering. She was hunting. Hunting him. Every creak of steel, every groan of the decaying refinery was her voice. She prowled the maintenance shafts, crawled through sludge-filled ducts, hung above flickering lights in the silence just before a scream. Refinery techs died quickly, some without ever seeing her. Others had time to scream. One was dragged through a closing bulkhead, another impaled to a fuel rod. Every kill was methodical, clean, personal. By the 9th day, the refinery's AI system had declared a biohazard emergency. Desperation brought help. A Colonial Marine fire team from the UAS Endeavour was dispatched, equipped with state-of-the-art motion trackers, smart guns, flamethrowers. Hardened veterans who had seen combat on worlds ravaged by xeno outbreaks. But they weren't prepared for 3. The Marines came in full confidence. Heavy boots hitting the deck, barrels raised, chatter calm. They secured hallways and welded doors. They placed turrets in mines. They thought they had the upper hand. And then the motion trackers screamed. 3 descended from the ceiling like a shadow given form. Faster, stronger, and eerily precise. A smart gunner didn't even fire. His head vanished in a blur of claws. Another Marine emptied a full clip into her ribbed hide, but the bullets ricocheted, leaving only shallow cuts that sealed before their eyes. She didn't fight like other Xenomorphs. There was no swarm, no frenzy. She fought like a soldier. Strategic, ruthless, calculated. Every engagement was a test, a lure, a lesson in terror. And slowly, steadily, the fire team was whittled down to whispers and silence. Some said she moved like a dancer, others said she smiled. By day 13, only 2 Marines remained. One was Corporal Reyes, who managed to weld Honecker inside a data archive room with just minutes to spare. Through a narrow observation slit, the scientist watched 3 approach Reyes at the far end of the hall, her head tilted. Curious, like a cat staring at a bird it wouldn't eat just yet. Reyes stood his ground. He died with his knife in her neck. It did nothing. And still Honecker watched. The next day he ran again, deeper into the refinery, toward the power core. The heart of Katanga, exposed radiation coils, roaring vents, a heat that shimmered like a living breath. He was running out of places to hide. But so was 3. The final confrontation came not with glory, but desperation. An automated defense drone, one of the last functioning assets on the station, caught sight of her form. It fired. Behind it came what remained of the Endeavor's reinforcements, smart guns blazing, grenades detonating. 3's armor cracked, acid blood hissed against steel, yet even wounded she charged. Her screams weren't alien anymore. They were pain, fury, betrayal. Honecker, clinging to a scaffold above the firefight, saw it all. He screamed for them to stop, but the Marines didn't hear. Or maybe they didn't care. 3 struck one final time, impaling a gunner before collapsing under a barrage of grenades and pulse rifle fire. Her body jerked, shuddered, then stilled. Smoke hung thick in the chamber, flames licked the walls, and then she moved, just her head, once. She turned, and her eyes met Honecker's. There was no hatred in them, no rage, only recognition. Her mouth opened slightly, and the corners lifted. A smile, faint, fragile, human. And in that frozen instant, Honecker understood. 3 was not just a xenomorph. She was Monica's scream made flesh, the echo of a woman abandoned, rejected, and experimented upon. She was a curse and a child, a monster that had never asked to be born. The Marines would call it a successful purge, but Honecker would never forget what he saw. Not the carnage, not the terror, but the smile. Because 3 wasn't born from instinct, she was born from pain. And the deadliest monsters are not born in darkness, they are born in silence, in heartbreak, in labs where love is dissected and forgotten. And now, she was gone. But her legacy? Still breathing, somewhere in the shadows.